alive from period of time. Live by the bed, die by the bed. I'll live alive from period of time. Live by the bed, die by the bed.
Alright, we're here with Kjetil from Nøgne. Hello.
Hi.
Nøgne started off back in 2002. What can you tell us about the start and the following years?
Whoa. I guess the most important thing is that we were just amateurs. We had absolutely no idea about what we were doing when we started the company and wanted to be a professional brewery. And maybe that was, in a sense, that was a good way, or a good thing, because we ended up working with enthusiasm and the passion, you know, for the beer was the driving force, and that was a good thing. But we were about to go bankrupt every second month, the first 3 years, so it was kind of rough. It was very rough, and yeah, I guess that's pretty much the message, that we did not know what we were doing. Also, as we were motivated by the passion for the beers, we brewed the beers we wanted. And even though we knew that Norwegians did not crave for IPAs because they have never tasted it, even though we knew all that, we were kind of surprised when we approached bar owners and, you know, people with our beers, and their response was that this is not beer. People here don't like this.
Yeah.
That was kind of a slap in the face. But yeah, that was pretty much how it all started.
Yeah. Okay. What's your flagship beer now, and what's your personal favorite of your own beers?
When you ask about flagship, do you mean the beer which sells?
Seller.
Yeah, the big seller. That's our IPA, our straightforward standard IPA, which I think is great because through the years we've had lots of people among the owners, among my partners, in the organization, managers and so on, and they all thought that Norwegians like easy to drink beers, low in alcohol, low in bitterness, but they're all wrong. Norwegians like IPA.
Yes.
Not only Norwegians, even in most export markets, our IPA sells very well. And I love the fact that Norwegians like assertive, good, full-bodied, hoppy IPAs.
Cool.
It's also quite remarkable that we typically only make one of each beer style. We don't make several. Well, we have 2 porters, but we don't make several bitters and several stouts and so on. But with regards to IPAs, I think we have made 10 different IPAs through the years, including Imperial IPAs and so on. Yeah. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Which one is your personal favorite?
Anything hoppy is good for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like hoppy beers.
So you're a hophead.
I am, totally. Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool. How many liters do you produce per batch now on your brewery, and what you got in like a yearly production?
A batch is about 4,500 liters, and annual production this year we think we're going to get close to 1 million liters or 10,000 hectoliters.
Okay. New bigger brewery. What's new? What's going on?
We need to move. Right now we're in 2 locations, and we have fermenters in both locations. So if we're fermenting in the other building, then we brew. We take the worts over into a tank which is on a trailer, and we pull it with a tractor to the other location where we transfer it to the fermenter. When it's fermented, then we take it back the same way and package it in our brewery, and when it's packaged, then we load it back on another trailer and take it over to the other location again. So it's like we really need to move. We've grown out of our building facilities where we are right now.
When?
Now we're working with the authorities and see where we can build, and then we need to find some investors to team up with us on this. I think it'll take 1.5 years or 2. Europe's
first sake brewery. What's the story of that?
Again, as I say, we're passion driven, and we fell in love with sake and just thought that, hey, we need to do this. Of course, it's based on the fact that we fell in love with the flavors,
Yeah.
but also you have to remember that sake is the most difficult beverage, alcoholic beverage you can possibly make, and that intrigued us. So we thought, hey, this is a great challenge. We need to do this.
How did you start out?
How we started out, I spent several years building a network in Japan with and getting to know lots of people who who were willing to help me. And then I spent some time in some sake breweries, and then it took also a long time to get the equipment, get the right equipment to brew.
Cool.
Yeah, that took like all this took like several years.
What's your market there? I mean, for the sake, is it Norwegian or is it Japan?
That's the thing. When we had our first sake available, and of course our sake is not mainstream. Our sake is Yamahai sake, which has a special technique for lowering the acidity in the yeast starter by naturally occurring lactic bacteria.
Oh.
Instead of adding lactic acid. So we're back to some traditional methods. So our sake is not mainstream. And when we approached, Japanese restaurant owners and managers, sake bars and so on, we got exactly the same feedback as when we were out there with our IPAs 10 years ago. They're saying like, this is not sake. Sake is not supposed to taste like this. People here don't like this. So we're back, to square one. But I need to tell you, 3 days ago, that is on. Now we're on what today's date, 8th of September. 3 days ago, we got a message from the results from the London Sake Challenge.
Yeah.
And we submitted 2 sakes for that competition. We got 1 gold and 1 bronze.
Congratulations!
Thank you very much.
That's
so
great.
I think that's like, at least now we can go out there and say that you may not like our sake, and that's okay, but it is proper sake, and we can document it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
How much is the export and how much goes to Norwegian market?
Our production is very, very small, so we export hardly anything.
Okay.
Small volumes going to Sweden, small volumes to Germany, small volumes to Australia. These days we're actually shipping 60 cases to Canada, to Ontario.
That's cool.
So that's a new thing. But most of the sake stays in Norway.
Okay.
It took us 2 years to get into Vinmonopolet. So now we're in the government outlet system and we have national distribution, but it took us 2 years.
Wow, that's a long time. This year's Christmas beer. Anything new about it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Some rumors.
We think that our Christmas beer should change every year.
Yeah.
We're not afraid of that. That's okay. Even though people say this is the best you've ever made, we still need to change it next year. Last year, we were told by some people that our Christmas beer, or at least our flagship Christmas beer, God Jul, that it was too generic, too mainstream. It wasn't, cool enough or different enough. So this year, I can guarantee you that we have made a God Jul with an attitude.
Yeah.
There's a present smokiness, peat smoked malt, which is not just like a little tad, but it's like you can feel that it has a good nose of smoke, peat. Also, if we have fermented it with Belgian yeast.
Wow.
So it's fruity.
Whoa. That's amazing, man. Imperial Rye Porter is one of my favorite beers from Nøgne. What's the story behind that collaboration?
We have friends all over, and a guy we know who has visited us several times. He approached us, an American guy. He said that he was traveling to Europe with people from the Terrapin Brewing Company.
Okay.
And well, they asked, can we come over and do something fun with you? And we said, sure, of course. And we contemplated what to do. They like our porter. They typically brew a lot with rye.
Yeah.
So we decided to go for our porter, the Nøgne porter, and beef it up, imperialize it, and give it a really clear or a good rye profile.
Okay, how many percentage rye do you use?
30% rye.
30, okay.
Yes.
It's balls. Cool. How is the process of creating new beers, and you create all the new recipes and beers yourself?
It all depends how much support or how many inputs I get from the other guys in the brewery. I typically would, whenever I have an idea, I would write it down on an email and send it to all the brewers and all my partners and say, this is what I have in mind. What do you think? And that's an invitation for anyone to go in there and say, no, I disagree with the chocolate malt there, or I think we should use a different yeast, or why don't we add this instead, or on top, or you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes there could be lots of inputs. Other times it's like a vacuum. Nobody says anything, and I like it when we have those processes for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Like over a couple of months.
Oh.
And so we can discuss it, or I can send them a reminder. Like, have you guys been thinking about this? Now, do you have any new feedbacks? And then, as something you thought of a few weeks ago has matured, then perhaps you could think about it again. You realize, no, that suggestion I had there was really not the best, because we can do this one instead. It's like all this is. It's like, you can go to bed with a problem and you have no idea about how to solve it, and you wake up in the morning and you realize, that's it. So it's the same thing with beer recipes. You need to sleep on it. You need to let it just work over time, and you get new ideas, and that's very important for us.
Cool. You do test batches or anything, or just
always full scale. Yeah. The testing happens on a piece of paper. Brainstorming it. That's where our testing happens, or takes place.
What's the next new brews currently in planning?
We have an India Pale Lager. It's finished fermenting, going to be packaged next week. It's our same recipe as our IPA, but fermented with lager yeast. An IPL.
Cool.
We have Dark Horizon 4th edition fermenting right now.
Wow.
After this, we will make a quadruple, which we will put in whiskey oak barrels.
Cool.
And ship in unrefrigerated containers to Australia, to Bridge Road Brewers in Victoria. And why are we doing that? Because exactly the same beer has been brewed there. I was there brewing it with Ben Krause, the head brewer, and they have put that in Pinot Noir barrels, and it's right now on its way to us.
Cool.
So it's a collaborative thing where it's like, we have Linjeakevit in Norway, so this is the Linje beer, and it's a global collaboration where we will each age, blend and package this beer. Cool. So that's the next thing. After that, we're thinking about making a roasted black pepper ale, maybe.
Cool.
We have some ideas.
Yeah.
Our goal is actually now to release 2 new beers every month.
Wow.
Only one batch.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be like, first come, first serve. Not enough for everyone.
What breweries or brewers inspire you, and what do you think is exciting right now?
Wow. I guess we are very busy, so we don't get to talk that much with other brewers these days. We do some collaborations, of course, and that's very fruitful, but it's inspiring. I cannot answer that. I think we're too busy looking into our own operation, and after all, we're a group of brewers now. We have 3 brewers. Then we have our production manager. Then it's me and my main partner Tord, and we're all into this. We all care about the beers. So it's like, I don't think maybe we're too introvert. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily go out there and pay attention to what the other breweries are doing, because we have so much inspiration from our own ideas.
From the beer.
Yeah, I think so. As a group, we function like that very well.
When you want to crack a cold one from another brewery, and then what would you drink?
West Coast, something hoppy. There are so many good breweries. I would rather not mention any names because there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
But West Coast IPAs, I love them.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Thank you for the interview.
Thanks. It's been great being here.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.